Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Emmy-winning TV personality and Silicon Valley visionary.
And good morning to all of those of you joining us from a live stream across the world. Welcome to QlikWorld. How are we feeling? I think we can do a little better than that. How are we feeling? So good to be here. I'm so happy to be joining all of you at this amazing conference. And it's good to be back in person, isn't it? A little more enthusiasm. We can make this virtual real fast. Good to be back in person, right? Well, welcome to the conference that focuses on the world that is entirely your focus. Analyzing data, managing data, bringing data together, finding trust in your data, and helping your companies get insight and value from data. And with that said, we have an action-packed few days here for you. And I have to say, it's an honor to be joining you and taking the stage. Very briefly, my name is Katie Linendoll, and for those of you who aren't familiar with my work, I'm best known for my public-facing role in consumer technology, where I cover tech stories for media outlets across the globe, on air and online. And I've contributed reports and hundreds of pieces for the likes of the Wall Street Journal, Today Show, the Weather Channel, ESPN, and Popular Science, just to name a few. And I'm constantly curious about the world and the impact of technology on business. And so I'm particularly excited to be here joining you at QlikWorld and learning right alongside you. And I think you're going to be very excited for our conference lineup. It is strong, it's compelling, with top thought leaders and speakers. You're going to hear from CEO Mike Capone outlining the company's strategic vision. You're also going to hear from industry experts to provide context on the market, and also from Qlik's top customers responsible for shared success of their companies and customers. And most important, here on the main stage, you're going to find so many breakout sessions. You're going to hear from your peers. You're going to learn alongside data experts and Qlik professionals, talking about how Qlik's portfolio provides opportunity for you and your companies to succeed 2023 and beyond. With that also, too, you're going to hear from some data-forward progressive companies and organizations operating around the world globally that'll be showcased in Mike's keynote in just a few moments. What else to expect? On this morning's main stage, we also have a fireside chat with two of Qlik's most important partners, AWS and Accenture. And we're also going to be recognizing the great work of some of Qlik's best customers by way of the Transformation Awards. Those will be announced later on stage this morning. In addition to all this, we have so much more going on. I'm going to be keeping you updated, an exciting evening planned as well. So all that to say, stay tuned. But now it is time to get this conference underway. Once again, welcome to QlikWorld. Let's do this.
When nothing feels certain, when you find yourself wishing you could catch even a flash of what the future holds, to get ahead, to come up for air, when information is coming from every angle, when you yearn to peer around the corner, to predict the next challenge, disruption, innovation, when technology seems to shift overnight, when nothing feels certain. That's the time to recognize the opportunity in front of you. The opportunity in your data. With the right tools, you can understand what worked, what failed, plan your next move. Turn the abstract into action. With the right tools, you can bring your data together. Trust it, analyze it. Most importantly, do something with it. When nothing feels certain, that's the time to embrace the opportunity you've had all along. The opportunity in your data. Because data is the antidote to uncertainty.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Qlik's CEO, Mike Capone.
Oh, wow. It's so great to be back. So first, thanks, Katie, for that great kickoff. Got the energy up in the room. I was with the journalist yesterday just doing an interview, and they asked me, like, how does it feel to be back in person? And I literally had no words. I was literally speechless. I couldn't even describe it, how great it was to be back with all of you at QlikWorld and just get the energy and the excitement from our loyal customers and partners and friends. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here with us. I'm really incredibly excited to be here. And this is special. It's special because we're here, we're together in person, but it's special for another reason. I think some of you know this, but maybe not everybody knows this. This year, this very year, is Qlik's 30th anniversary as a company. So 30 years old. Now some on my team with the title of marketing said, maybe we shouldn't talk about 30 years old. It feels really old. Things were old. I was 25 when Qlik was founded, so I object to the fact that I was already working in IT for 5 years and Qlik was founded and it's old. Qlik is not old, but what Qlik really is, what Qlik absolutely is resilient, innovative. They have fought their way through 30 years. You all know how turbulent the BI industry has been, the analytics industry has been over the last 30 years. Companies have come and gone. They've vaporized. They've been acquired. Their innovation has been smothered. But we are still here. We are still here, and we are as strong as we have ever been. Every person inside of this company, Qlik, and soon to be this company, Qlik with Talent, wakes up every single day thinking about how we can make all of you and the world a better place through data and analytics. This is what we do. We do not make video games. We do not do word processing. We do not do CRM, and we sure as hell don't do Bitcoin. All we do is we wake up every single day and we think about how we can help all of you be successful with data and analytics. And this company has survived because it has fought and it has reinvented itself. Now, that's not to say that same technology, the associative engine that was invented 30 years ago in Sweden, is still differentiating today. Customers still solving complex analytics problems with Qlik Sense and the engine that was built. It's still differentiated. It's still the greatest thing out there. But over time, we continue to add capabilities to our platform and reinvent ourselves and become something more to our customers. Not just a visual analytics company, but a full end-to-end data analytics and outcomes company. And we're really proud of that. I'm going to read this slide. The only thing I'll call your attention to is just that little round circle with the robot on the bottom, which talks about ML and AI, right? So something that wasn't talked about much a few years ago. And now 2 out of every 3 customers in our cloud are leveraging our ML AI capabilities and running models with artificial intelligence. That's how Qlik continues to reinvent itself. We bring innovative techniques to our platform and help everybody be more successful. Now, Qlik isn't the only anniversary that we're celebrating. This one's not as iconic as the 30 years of Qlik, but it is also my 5-year anniversary as CEO of Qlik. And thank you. Thanks. And I said this to the team during some of our sales kickoffs. I am as excited and energized as I was that very first day. It is an amazing company, amazing products, amazing people. I could not be happier. I love my job every day. I wake up coming to work thrilled and excited. So it's a great honor to lead this company. That said, last 5 years have been interesting from sort of an outside in perspective. I talked to my 16-year-old daughter. My 16-year-old daughter still doesn't know what I do for a living. She has absolutely no idea what I do. But what she says is your job is easy, right? Your job is easy. You're the CEO. You have all these people who just run around and do what you tell them to do. Thankfully, she wants to be a doctor because she'd have a really hard landing trying to get into the business world. She would not do well in corporate America. But what has been interesting about the last 5 years, navigating as a CEO in any company, I think everybody knows, is it's the uncertainty. It has been an unprecedented time. You have to go back 80 years to find a world that's got as much uncertainty as we do today. Pandemics, global wars, geopolitical conflict, inflation, supply chain disruptions, things that we never had to contend with before as organizations, be it a corporation, be it an NGO. We have to navigate all this. And it's not just the big things, it's not just the big macro events, but then we have these black swan events. Think about the Suez Canal. Suez Canal was closed for 6 days. If you were on the other side of that, if your company was waiting for goods and services to come through the Suez Canal during that period, it felt like 6 months. It was $10 billion. $10 billion of global trade was disrupted over that every day during that period. And it was unanticipated. There were no models, there was no spreadsheet, there was nothing that could have predicted that was going to happen and what companies should do about that problem. We're changing all that. And so I said before, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm as excited as I've ever been. The word I like to use is I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic about the future and where we all sit together in the world of data and analytics, because the only way that we will be able to navigate in this world of constant uncertainty is by using data and analytics to lead the way. And I'm not talking about the data and analytics the old way, the static data models, the legacy data warehouses, stale data. I'm talking about the new way, modern, real-time streaming data into modern cloud data lake platforms, analyzed in real time, curated, cataloged, leveraging modern tools like NLP and ML AI to get insights and then immediately take those insights and drive outcomes. And that is what you're going to hear about throughout the next 2 days, how Qlik has built a platform that will enable you to not only analyze your data, but gain insights, look into the future, and take action in real time. That is what we're going to be talking about today. And why am I optimistic? Well, in the last 30 days, just literally in the last month, I took notes from 3 customer conversations that I had that really proved my point in terms of being excited about this stuff. A life sciences company, a very well-known one, who's using our technology to look at data in real time, actually streaming data from sensors from patients to help bring life-saving drugs and therapies to market faster and improve safety of clinical trials. An airline company who's completely, or an air manufacturing company who's completely rebuilt their supply chain, leveraging data and analytics. So their biggest plane with over 4 million parts in it, they now know where every single one of those parts is everywhere, and they're positioning equipment to make sure that their customers, the airlines that use their planes, have what they need to be successful. And a credit card company that is preventing millions and millions of dollars of fraud every week, leveraging Qlik's technology after they tried and failed with 2 of our other competitors to build that platform. We were the only ones who could solve that problem because we were able to analyze complex data from multiple sources in real time. And of course, the great thing about Qlik, the very great thing about Qlik, I think everybody knows back to our birth 30 years ago, is that not only do we care about a company and our customers, but we also care about the world. And built into the fabric of our company has been this great desire to make the world a better place. It was true in the beginning in Sweden, and it's true today globally. So our technology is used with C40 cities to fight climate change. It's used with direct relief on disaster, disaster relief when natural disasters happen. And it's used with the United Nations to fight human trafficking. These are all things that we do as part of our way of giving back to society. And what do these things all have in common? Well, it's data. They're leading with data. But it's easy for me to stand up here and talk about all these things. I might be a little bit biased, just given my job. So what I want to do actually for the rest of this keynote is get some help. I've phoned up some friends who are going to join me on stage and talk a little bit about their perspective about how data is shaping the future. So we're going to start with an unbiased view from an industry analyst. So IDC, I think everybody knows, amazing industry analyst group. What they're really great at, what I really appreciate about IDC is they have thousands of conversations with customers and people in the industry. They're really good at isolating trends and then helping us all understand those trends and shape what we should do about them. So who better to help me talk about the future of data than Crawford Del Pratt, president of IDC. So all right, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so I thought the way we do this, look, probably the easiest thing to do is for you just take a couple minutes and kind of give your perspective, IDC's perspective, and then you and I can have a little back and forth after that.
Absolutely. So. Welcome, everybody. It is great to see everyone. So what I wanted to do was spend a few times talking about kind of where we are in the market. As Mike mentioned, it is a complicated time in the market. We at IDC have shown you this framework. We've talked about this framework a lot in the marketplace. But where we are today is that we're kind of building off of a lot of the progress we made over the last few years. And if you think about the period of time from 2007 to 2015, we saw some interesting things happen in 2007. We saw the iPhone be introduced, and then we also saw the emergence of this little platform called EC2 from Amazon, which ultimately became the cloud. Now, those two technologies, the cloud gave us, with low-cost semiconductors and with storage, we saw really infinite flexible capacity available in the marketplace. At the same time, we saw the emergence of the iPhone and Android devices. We saw that compute became in everyone's pocket. It became ubiquitous. Now, you combine that with the power of the internet, that dropped the cost of distribution of bits and technology to really zero. So that really set the stage for where we are today and this amazing time that we've seen over the last few years, this era that we call the era of multiplied innovation. Now, that era of multiplied innovation has really been the growth that we saw from 2015 to today. We saw platforms and communities emerge. We saw the emergence of these platforms become really hubs for innovation, much like we see with Qlik, much like we see with the major cloud services and the platform as a service platforms that we see, and then of course the software as a service platforms that we see being used every single day. So this backdrop set up the ability to create, when I tell you, hundreds of millions of applications, and this move to digital transformation. This is why we see software continuing to grow at over 10% per year. This is why we see software as a service growing and infrastructure as a service growing at north of 20% per year. But what's interesting is, even with these innovations that I've talked about, we're at the dawn of a new era. And we're calling that era this era of intelligent automation. And this era of intelligent automation is really being fueled by this era of multiplied innovation. We believe that with the emergence of these new technologies, whether it be OpenAI, whether it be ChatGPT, whether it be other technologies, what we're starting to see is that the time and effort associated with creating is about to drop exponentially. We're about to, now again, listen to what I said, creating, not creativity, but the ability for people to create faster, for people to be able to play to their strengths, for people to be able to expand their skills in their roles faster, that's all about to get a whole lot easier. We are at the dawn of a new era. This new era is a foundational shift. It is a change from the past. Nothing is going to stay the same. Now, a lot of people believe that we believe this is going to be a platform shift. And a lot of people believe that a platform shift requires a hardware change. We don't believe that's the case. We believe this is a new relationship with your data, a new relationship with your insights. New roles will emerge, just like SEO became a thing in the era of the Internet 1.0 and 2.0. We're going to see relationships with generative AI, with new ways to think about learning from AI. Those will all become things. And I promise you, those that don't embrace this technology will be doomed to be enslaved by it. Think about that. You really got to embrace this, you got to learn, and you have to evolve to be able to play to your strengths and grow in a new way. So we think this is a new platform shift. It's a big change. Now, this will impact horizontal business applications, and it will impact vertical industry applications and use cases. So Mike, the world is about to change. Everything is about to change. Our relationship with data, no incumbent is safe. Really, everything is up for grabs. We believe this is building off this golden era of multiplied innovation, and the journey is about to take a super interesting turn as we start thinking about automating in a new way.
Nice. Thank you, Crawford. Couple questions, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so first, some of what you said could be maybe a little scary for the audience, right? This generative AI thing, certainly I think has people a little nervous. What advice do you have to kind of overcome that fear of what's coming?
Yeah, look, this is a super scary time, right? I mean, we're developing these learning models. We're learning about them every day. My advice is you really have to embrace this. I don't think we should be living in a world where people have to be experts in everything. I think we need to live in a world where, how can I be better in my role? How can I be assisted? And by the way, like newsflash, that's no different from the way Excel helped us structure data and help people not necessarily have to be, working on, tablets of paper. This is a time to be thinking about, how can I stand on the shoulders of this technology as a learner and get better at what I do?
Excellent. That's great.
Yeah.
One last question.
Sure.
So obviously, we're in this era where data is pervasive. It's everywhere.
Yep.
What do you see the best companies doing in terms of approaching harnessing all this data to make it successful?
Yeah, so it is a great question. And I think we're about to enter into a really strange mode right now where people are going to think these learning models can do so much for them and they can sort of make the magic happen. The reality is, you gotta structure your data. The reality is you have to work on making your data integratable. You have to be able to do the hard work to be able to unlock that magic from these learning models. I mean, unfortunately, the old garbage in, garbage out model still kind of applies, and this isn't a silver bullet. However, if you're not willing to do that work, you're gonna be even further behind. And that's really one of the biggest challenges.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your
Hey,
insight.
great to see everyone. Have a great show. Thank you very much.
Hey, see you later on the cube.
Man. Thank you. Whoop.
All right. Excellent. Okay, thanks, Crawford. So what I said was we'd start with an unbiased view, which is what Crawford was. That's over now. The rest of this, you can expect a healthy bias throughout the entire conference in terms of why we think Qlik is the perfect solution for all of you. And it starts here, right? So Crawford talked about what are the best companies doing. Well, these are our customers, the best of the best. So if you look across every industry, the best companies are leveraging our technology to lead with data, to make their business stronger, to compete, to win in the marketplace. We are incredibly proud of the footprint we have among some of the greatest brands in the world. Let's talk a little bit about the how. So how does this all work? How do you move from sort of the old way of doing things to the new way? How do you build on this philosophically? You're going to see lots and lots about product tomorrow. What I want to talk about is just the thought process. Well, the first thing that all these great companies and the most successful companies have in common is they think about data first. They lead with a data-first culture. There's so many surveys out there that talk about how executives still lead with gut decision-making, and why those companies underperform. And then there are other surveys out there that show that organizations really embrace data, not just data in reports or dashboards, but data underpinning every important process and every important decision that they make every day, are more successful. They're more profitable, they grow faster, they win more. So companies that embrace a data-first mentality are going to win. And again, this is why I say all of you are the most important people in your companies right now. To embrace a data-first culture, what do you need to do? Well, first and foremost, you need to connect everything. So think about it. You've got data everywhere. You don't want to leave anything on the table, right? The great thing is we now have the capacity, the technology, to be able to bring data in from anywhere, from any source. You may have seen, we recently announced something called the Connector Factory. We are investing heavily in making sure that our customers have the ability to get data from anywhere and everywhere, from cloud sources, from on-premise sources, from third-party sources. With talent coming in, that's only going to enhance that capability. You're going to see us invest more and more and more because we believe for our customers to be successful, they need to be able to harness the power of all of their data, not just the data that's easy to get to, all of it. Second thing that's important is data needs to be business ready. Again, when we start thinking about talent, you'll hear more about the talent acquisition throughout the next couple of days. But we need to make sure that by the time that data gets into the hands of the day-to-day business people, it's in a format that they can consume. It's not somewhere where only IT can get it, but it's embedded in their process. It's in a format that they can use in the workflow that they're used to on the device that they use every single day. It's incredibly important. We've invested heavily also in making sure that we can make analytics pervasive. You're going to hear later from a customer who's actually embedded our technology in their product for their customers so they can work effectively to bring analytics to where their customers live as well. Make it business ready. The third is trust. We all know what happens when end users, business people get their hands on data and it's wrong and we've lost trust. What happens? They don't use it anymore. They've lost belief in the data. Building trust and making sure that by the time that data gets into the fabric of the business, it's accurate, it's verified, the veracity of it, the lineage of it is all worked out is really critical. We have been investing heavily in this category as well. I think everybody knows we've added data lineage capabilities. We've always had some pretty good data quality tools. Again, with the advent of Talon, you're going to see us double down because we really believe Talon had the best tools on the market in terms of data quality, data transformation, data governance. So we're really, really excited for those two things. Next is foresight. So nobody ever was successful by looking backwards. You can't drive a car by looking backwards, but that's a lot of what BI has been in the past. It's about reports. And look, we love end printing. We make lots of money off of end printing, but distributing PDF reports really never made any company hugely successful, despite what my marketing and product people want to say right now and kill me. The reality is what's going to make people successful is looking forward. One way we've done that is what I talked about earlier, which is bringing something like AI, machine learning, into the kind of main stage of analytics. So with Qlik AutoML, the capability that we built into our cloud product, you have the ability to build, to train, to make models that will help you build predictive analytics for the future, right? Why is that important? Well, for years, people were trying to use data science, or trying to use modern data science. They were taking data out of their analytics platforms. Think about it. Think about how stupid that is, right? You just spent all this time, all this money building this beautiful analytics-ready data lake, and then what do? You take the data out and you give it to the data scientists, and they go write some R and Python code on it, and then you hope somehow, by God's will, that gets back into your analytics platform, into your business. It's crazy. It's crazy. Your data's right here. It's in Qlik, it's in Snowflake, it's in the right place. Well, now you can do all of that in line, and you can look forward. You can build predictive models and look forward, and that leads into the last thing, which is the most important thing of all, which is to take action. Once you get that insight, every second that you're not acting on that insight is lost value. So the ability to actually take action on an insight and do something with it. Okay, we have a pricing problem. All right, don't tell somebody, just go change the pricing in your system. We've got an inventory problem. All right, automatically place an order, open a ticket in a CRM system, push a transaction, light up dynamic pricing because we know we're going to have a surge in demand shortly. That is taking action. By the way, I'm a longtime CIO, so I've been on the other side of this, which is getting all the data ready. But as a CEO, and I speak for all CEOs, this is all they care about. This is all they care about. They don't care how hard it is to get the data out of SAP. They don't care that you have a lot of work to do to get it ready. They assume that that's your job and you've done all that work already. What they want to understand is that, okay, we've got the insight, we've done it. Now, how do we translate that into business value by doing something with it that isn't relying on some person picking up the phone and making a call? That's action. And with Qlik application automation, with our alerting capabilities, with our APIs, we've built the capability to automatically take action when the analytics tells you to. So this is a perfect segue into my next guest on stage. I talked about Qlik being a 30-year-old company and that not feeling old. Well, what I'm going to do now is invite up someone from a 100-year-old company. This company was on the forefront of the Industrial Revolution many, many years ago, and now they are on the forefront of the digital revolution in the automotive industry, leading the way with the concept of the connected car. So what I'd like to do now is invite Caroline Buckley, Director of Global Marketing, Sales Analytics, to join me on stage. Hey, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me here. So everyone, all the hype is all around Electric vehicles, and you guys are great. I saw some press about how you guys are going to blow up Tesla at some point, which I'm rooting for you for sure. But really, the transformation is a little bit more about the connected vehicle and all the data you can harness and what you can do with that. Maybe you can share with the group a little bit about what you're doing at Ford.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our connected vehicle data, if a customer agrees to send the data from the vehicle into our systems, we're able to actually use that in many ways to help the customer have a better experience driving our vehicles. So, for example, in a traditional gas vehicle, instead of the sticker in your window that the dealer gives you that says, hey, come back for an oil change in 6 months, and we all forget, right? When we go back 10 months later, we're actually able, we have sensors in the oil tank in the vehicle that tell us the health of the oil. So what we're able to do is then send the customer a message a month before we think they're going to need that oil change to say, hey, heads up, it's time to schedule your oil change. The vehicle is telling us that it's going to need new oil in a month from now. On the electric vehicle side, it's actually even cooler. I kind of compare it to, how your iPhone does like the optimized charging, and it will charge to 100% by 3 a.m. or whatever time you normally wake up. So we have that for electric vehicles where based on your driving patterns and your utility provider's terms for how much your electric costs at different times of day, we're able to actually make recommendations around when you should charge your vehicle at home, which helps reduce that anxiety that some customers have around like, well, how much is my electric bill going to go up if I'm plugging my car in at home all the time?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And you also have this incredible demand across your executive base. You always talk about the importance of getting data into the hands of your business leaders. You even told me there's like a little competition about building dashboards and who gets them first. But you can talk a little bit about your data cloud and how you've been able to do that for your executives.
Yep, we're actually in the midst right now of moving from what we lovingly call our data swamp into our new enterprise data factory. We're about halfway through the migration. It's a Google Cloud platform-based data factory. And really focused on how do we enable digital transformation through having high-quality data, well-cataloged data where we're monitoring the quality and we're immediately predicting quality issues in the data and fixing them before a user actually even sees that problem. So we're building out that ecosystem to support every aspect of the company, and it's not just for analytics users, it's for product development teams, it's for marketing, it's for finance, it's for HR, it's for the auditor's office. Every team across Ford will be able to use that enterprise data factory.
That's amazing. And so full disclosure, Caroline is a member of our executive advisory board, and we're very, very proud to have her. And what's great is that you're a customer not only of our analytics platform, but also our data integration platform. And you built this cool thing called the Data Factory. Maybe you can kind of describe how all the technology works together.
Yep, absolutely. And we actually use Qlik on, I call it like both ends, right?
Yeah.
So from a data perspective, we use Qlik Replicate to bring in different sources from all around the company. I was looking the other day, we use Qlik Replicate on 650 different sources every day, sometimes more than once a day, bringing those into our data factory. So it's vast how many sources we're using that tool for. And then on the analytics end, QlikSense is our enterprise visualization tool. We have 25,000 users of QlikSense, 4,000 dashboards, and what I love is only 10% of those dashboards are built by analytics professionals. It's truly democratized across every aspect of the business to be able to visualize data in the way they need to make decisions.
That's amazing. And you even have command centers that try to get a picture, but your marketing people wouldn't let us get it. But you actually tell people what those things do, like how they're used.
Yep. So command centers are the new big hot thing for us. So imagine NASA. It looks just like that. We have virtual ones, but we actually have physical ones too. We have one from a data analytics perspective that shows all the data flowing into the data factory, and then the analytics use of that data as well. So I'm actually able to click of a button in QlikSense, identify how many people at what level in the company, in what team, how often are they using each dashboard. Therefore, if someone's not using it, we shut it down, right? If we're finding lots and lots of users, we know that we need to add resources to keep enhancing that dashboard. So that's our command center in the data and analytics space. Everybody's come through and had what we call a command center tour, so now everybody wants their own one. So there's a lot of command centers springing up. We're actually building one in our headquarters right now for our leadership team, and they're going to be using a lot of our ClickSense dashboards around where are we at with e-commerce, how's our manufacturing going for the day, how much sales have we made yesterday, what inventory do we have at the dealership. So it's definitely become a data-driven organization, which is awesome.
No, that's awesome. We talked about before, I talked about connect everything. You've done an amazing job of connecting everything, 650 data sources. So Caroline, very impressive. Thank you so much for being here with us today. So
you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's great. I'll see you later. All right. What an amazing story when you think about it. Ford invented the assembly line. They really were the first part of the Industrial Revolution in revolutionizing manufacturing, and they're leading the way in terms of revolutionizing the automobile industry, leveraging data. I mentioned that Caroline was on our executive advisory board, and we're really proud to have her. In fact, we're really proud to have what I consider to be the best executive advisory board on the planet. These are a number of customers. They advise us. We meet in person a few times a year, as well as other virtual meetings as well, on our strategy from across our entire platform. That includes our data integration business as well as our analytics. Lots of customers like Caroline who are both sides of the product set. More and more customers moving that way. But you can see the list of customers here. What CEO wouldn't be amazingly proud to have these customers and these executives as part of their advisory board? Almost all of them are here. So Caroline, they're actually meeting. One of our meetings is at this. I encourage you to seek them out. They just have amazing insights and stories to tell about how they work with us to solve really, really complex business problems. All right, let's turn the page for a minute and let's talk about talent. Let's spend a minute on talent. People are like, wow, he's halfway through his keynote and he hasn't even mentioned them yet. So here it is. I'm going to mention. We are going through regulatory approval. We're very confident everything's fine. It's going to happen. It's just a process that takes time, but we expect this quarter to bring talent and Qlik together to form one amazing company, one amazing, very unique company. Those of you who know me know that I've been interested in doing something with talent since pretty much the first day I got to Qlik. Sat down with Drew Clark, my head of corporate strategy and M&A, like what would be an interesting combination for us? We have the ability to do some M&A, and talent rose to the top of the list. Combination, particularly now after our Opportunity acquisition, but now Qlik data integration with our change data capture and our data lake management technology, and then our analytics, and then in between bringing talent in with his data transformation capabilities, data quality, data prep, we will create an incredible, I'm using my words super carefully because there's so many lawyers here right now, but we'll create this incredible company that will be able to solve really, really unique business problems. And more importantly, many companies struggle to cobble together all these different solutions to solve all these different problems. We're going to create one end-to-end solution that will actually help you solve the end-to-end data platform story, all the way from raw data through data extraction, high velocity data integration, change data capture, transformation, data lineage, data quality, data prep into data lakes, modern cloud data lakes, and data lake management through analytics and insights. It is going to be spectacular. We're actually going to show you during the product keynote tomorrow. We're going to show you how this is all going to work together, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it as well. There are many talent people in the room. I welcome all of you. They are technically a partner for the moment, but they're obviously more than a partner. They're family, and they're going to be joining us soon. But I encourage you to meet the talent people here in the expo. They've got a really nice booth set up, and it's definitely worth a visit. And in fact, when we are done, when we do consummate this marriage, we will be the leader. Qlik will be the leader. Qlik Talent will be the leader in 3 different Gartner Magic Quadrants. So, analytics, by the way, 13 years in a row. Analytics, in case you missed that. But also now, data integration tools and data quality solutions. It is amazing. We will be completely unique in the marketplace in solving really hard data and analytics problems. In fact, this is another great transition. Tomorrow we've got an amazing product keynote. I've actually stayed away from a lot of product stuff here because I want to save that for James. But what I want to do now, just to tease you a little bit about what's coming tomorrow, is invite James Fisher, our Chief Product Officer, up to the stage. So James. Hey, there you are. All right, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Good. All right. So, look. So today was the easy day because it was the first day. Everybody showed up on time. Tonight they're going to be laid out because they're going to be gambling all night, and it's going to be a little harder to get them here. So, what are you going to do tomorrow to make sure everybody's excited to get here, wake up, and see the product keynote?
Would the right answer be stay gambling with them and bring them with me in the morning?
Up to you. Just take your badge off before you do that.
All right, okay, I'll do that. Look, I think this show is just incredible, and for me, where we are with customers, right? And they've got so many customers here at this event, and I was just sort of joking with Caroline backstage. The Ford story is incredible. It's not just because Caroline is British, that helps, of course, but think about the passion there. Think about how pervasive data is in everything that Ford are doing, and it's at the heart of all of their work around sales and marketing. And Caroline's team is doing an incredible job with our products, but also with all of the data that they have available to them. And there are so many of those stories that we can be part of over the course of the next couple of days. The other thing, quite selfishly, Mike, that I'm really excited about here is that, as you know, we have a lot of my team here, a lot of Mike Potter, our R&D leaders are all here, and they want to get engaged, right? Not only is this an opportunity for them to share our product vision with everybody in this room, it's also an opportunity to get feedback, and that's a big thing I'll be talking about tomorrow. We want to hear what you like about our products. We want to hear maybe what you don't like, what you'd like more of. And this is just such an incredible opportunity to get access to that information that we just should not miss that.
Yeah, it's so great to be back in person. That's one of the greatest things about having everybody here. All right, your job is to talk about all the technology, and I know you and Josh have got an amazing show tomorrow. But obviously, there's some new and cool stuff that we want to talk about. So when you think about like new and cool, like what comes to mind?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to spend a bit of time with Crawford yesterday and talking a bit about the ideas around intelligent automation and this sort of generational shift that is about to kick into gear. What I thought was most important about what Crawford was saying, though, was that this is not a replatforming capability. This is all about data. It's all about changing the relationship that we have with our data. And that is really at the heart of solving the problems that we're going to be dealing with. So with some of the talent stuff, with what we've been doing organically to bring our data integration capabilities, our unique differentiators into the cloud platform, with push-down transformations in particular, that's super, super exciting. And then, of course, on the analytics side, everything we're doing with automation, with AI and ML, and potentially even tomorrow, some of the generative AI stuff. There's a lot of really exciting things that are going to start to change the way we can reach more users in our customer and partner organizations, irrespective of their level of data literacy or irrespective of the level of analytic maturity and the problems they're trying to solve.
Excellent. All right. Here's one that we didn't prep for, but you know I was going to do this here, right? So the MQ came out, it's terrific. One of the things that was said, which I thought was fascinating, was one of the cautions, and I guess they have to have cautions, is our investment in data integration going to be a distraction for us in terms of our analytics business, which I thought was kind of funny because again, somebody also in the Leader Squadron has bought a video game company, so I'm not sure how that all hangs together. But in terms of your view, because I know you're passionate about this, like why is that not the case? Why is talent and all the things we're doing not a distraction, but actually more accretive to what we're doing?
Well, as you've said to me on more than one occasion, you cut me and I bleed analytics, right?
Yeah.
So, look, I think that, take the Magic Quadrant, 13 years a leader, we're not about to give that up. Yeah. Every conversation I've had with customers, even over the last couple of days, the ability to ask questions of data, you said it, Qlik has a secret sauce in our engine. It's what powers people to ask the next question of data. And I think we just have so much more to give. The technology, the landscape around us is moving in our favor. Yeah. So we're not going to take our foot off the gas there in the slightest. In fact, the sum of the whole is so much more important. Exactly. So yeah, we're not taking our foot off the gas.
Awesome. James, thank you. Really looking forward to your keynote tomorrow morning. Everybody be there. So
cool.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Good to see you. All right. We are going to close now. So we got one more amazing customer to bring up on stage. And what I love about this customer is not only have they built a beautiful internal analytics business to serve their internal user base, but they've also embedded Qlik inside of their customer-facing applications to build a beautiful experience for their customers. That company is HARMAN. It's a Samsung company. You may know them from their great brands like JBL, for example, but a terrific, innovative company. And what we'd like to do is have them come and tell their story. So I'd like to invite Dr. Jay Ganesh and Annette Junker to the stage, please. Hey. Good to see you, Jay. Good to see you, Doctor. All right, Annette, we're gonna start with you. So first, we have to do the disclosure announcement. You used to work at Qlik, didn't you?
I did used to work at Qlik.
Yeah.
And everybody's careers start and change over time. And I was really fortunate to be there for 5 years. And congratulations on your 30 years.
Thank you.
It's absolutely awesome.
And it's great that you're still in the family.
That's
we love
exactly,
that.
right?
All right. So we talked earlier about business ready and getting data out. And one of the things that you've done an amazing job at is the citizen developer concept, like not having to have a core group of people who have to do everything, but actually kind of pushing that out. Maybe you can share with the audience how you've done that.
Absolutely, yes. So one of the reasons that we selected Qlik is because it's a platform that we can develop on. So we've set the structure for more than just our team to develop applications. And in order to do that, we have education in place for our business users to really learn how to create their own applications from scratch and also deploy them into our production environment. Now, you can imagine that's quite scary, right? Go create some applications and bring them into production. But what we've done is we've actually done all the hard work behind the data, right? And we're leveraging Qlik then as the front end. And it really requires us to have very strong governance. Making sure that we implement the right things at the right time that are going to remain production ready.
Right. Yeah. That is a challenge that everybody struggles with, right? That sort of democratization of data versus central governance. How have you been able to manage that over time? How do you structure your central governance versus kind of the end users?
Yeah, so governance starts at the beginning of an application. So at the intake process, we look at what is really required. And one of the things that we struggled with early on was really identifying business value. So I think many of us that had global data and analytics teams find that if you don't get the business value described up front, you really can't describe it afterwards, right? So, and that business value drives you to what's being developed, right? So during intake, we look at, what are we building and why? And that process is then followed by checkups throughout, and then a strong governance check mark. So in auto, we have something called the quality gate.
Right.
You can really think of that productionization as the quality gate. So you have to have everything structured correctly, use templates, use standards. And that's how we've put that in place.
Yeah, okay. And then one of your key areas that you focus on is supply chain, right?
Yeah.
And you've talked about how the speed of insights in supply chain is critical. So maybe you talk about some of the success you've had in improving kind of visibility into supply chain.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have, we manufacture 5,000 different types of finished goods, leveraging 12,000 components from 2,000 suppliers. You could just imagine how the pandemic just impacted us, yeah. Right? So we built a very good structure around supply chain, which is leveraged by a business to do things like critical parts, right? Pre-pandemic, it would take probably a week or two to assess the impact of critical parts within the supply chain. We now have that down to minutes or minutes and hours, right? So
amazing.
It's been a very transformational change for the business.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that outcome. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to turn over to your colleague Jay now. So Jay, you guys have actually built a whole business, digital transformation, around digital transformation. Maybe you can tell the audience what that business is.
Sure, Michael. So, we spoke about the world becoming more complex, uncertain macroeconomic conditions, challenges with respect to technology, new technologies all of a sudden coming up and taking over everything. So what we do with HARMAN Digital Transformation Solutions is to help customers navigate this complex environment. And data, analytics, AI, machine learning, cloud becomes a very important part of how we help customers go through these challenges and emerge successful out of these challenges.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And we talked about to Annette about kind of the value of data inside of HARMAN. How about the data outside of HARMAN to your customers? How have you turned that into a real asset for the company?
So this is a very, very interesting challenge faced by almost all of our customers, and you alluded to them, some of the earlier examples. There is an increased assessment awareness in terms of what value this data can bring in, because a lot of this data has been lying, particularly a lot of the unstructured content has been lying in systems, and enterprises never bothered, or they never had the tools to make sure that this unstructured content becomes part of the enterprise workflow. And this is an important challenge we help enterprises navigate, where can I plug in advanced tools or analytics techniques or even AI, ML, natural language processing approaches for getting this data to the enterprise decisioning workflow so that they can incorporate this data along with the structured data to make better decisions.
Yeah, and you bring that directly to your customers.
That's right.
Which is amazing. In fact, if you look, we just put a press release out this morning on the partnership with Qlik and HARMAN and how they actually do this. And even more importantly, HARMAN has a booth set up in the expo, so I encourage all of you to swing by and take a look at what they've done. It really is quite amazing. And Nick, who couldn't be here today, who looks after that business, he's in Korea today, is on our executive advisory board as well. Again, I'm going to give you one that I didn't think about before, so forgive me, but I'm allowed to do that since I'm in charge. But what advice, as customers think to move to a customer, from internal to external, like what did you guys have to think about? What advice do you have for everybody in building that business?
So the biggest advice when you're looking at all these challenges about data, AI, machine learning is to accelerate the process for decision making. Yeah. Right? Gone are the days when enterprise decision makers used to wait for weeks and months to get that right model in place, right? And the only way you can scale up and meet these challenges is to automate a lot of the steps, which is where MLOps plays a very, very important role, where you are going from bespoke, a few models or a few dozen models to hundreds of models, right? And automating and making this entire process accelerated is the best way for enterprises. And you need to have the right governance structures in place, the right responsible AI mechanisms in place, the right drift detection mechanisms in place, so that it becomes like a cycle and works in a clockwork speed. The second is about the buzz about generative AI. We already spoke about a few times earlier. Try and incorporate some of these in the form of POCs, right? So that is something you'll see as well as in the HARMAN booth as well, where we are leveraging the power of Qlik and all the analytics it provides and building a layer of GPT-based querying on top of it so that you can actually run unstructured queries. You get the answers to these queries, not just answers, but also recommended questions you can ask the next time so that the analyst becomes much more empowered to play around with the data provided and analytics provided.
Excellent advice, Jay. Thank you. Annette, Jay, thank you guys so much for being here. It was great to tell your story to the audience today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Take care. Jay, great to see you. Thank you. All right. So we heard, we first heard from Crawford on kind of the industry landscape and what's going on out there. We then transitioned over to Caroline from Ford. I think she really emphasized the point about connect everything, get all of your data together. They move billions of data points every month. And then we heard from James. I hope everybody got excited about the product keynote tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely amazing with our best demo guy in the world, Josh Good. And he's wrapped with HARMAN and their kind of internal, external use cases. So I think it was a great perspective. I'm going to wrap where I started, which is the way forward is with data. The way forward is with data and analytics. Never before in the history of the world has your profession and what Qlik does to help you, never has it been as important as it is today. It's incumbent upon all of us to maximize the opportunity to leverage data and analytics to navigate these very uncertain times. It's great to be back together. And the greatest thing about being back together is not necessarily everything that's in the sessions, it's actually everything that happens outside of the sessions. This is a huge opportunity for you to network, meet your colleagues from other companies who maybe you haven't seen in years and years and years these days, and learn from each other, pick up some great facts. In fact, the great thing, we talk about hearing it from us, but actually fully two-thirds of the presentations that you'll see at this event at QlikWorld include a customer or a partner. It's not Qlik talking, it's actually our partners and customers telling their stories about how Qlik made them successful. So look, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It is so great to have everybody back here in person. I am so honored and proud to lead this company and have customers and partners and a team of Qlik and now talent people coming in. I have the greatest job in the world, and all I want to do now is just wish everybody a great rest of the conference. We've got a lot of fun planned, and I'll see everybody around. Thank you.
Well, big thank you to Mike, and a great way to kick off QlikWorld. Would you agree? One more round of applause for Mike. Awesome. Fantastic insights and vision on the industry, and for sharing the stage with so many that were provided their business insights and perspective on business and data. And great news also, I think we can agree on Magic Quadrant and talent. Are we excited about that? Yes? Excellent. Well, I have to say, I'm so excited to meet so many of you today and tomorrow. We have so many great data professionals from all aspects of the industry gathered right here. And of course, those of you too joining on the live stream. As you know, the reason we gather together is of course to network and to build relationships and meet new friends. And among many of you are so many special people we want to give a personal shout out to. Our Qlik luminaries, partner ambassadors, and community MVPs are the hardest working Qlik customers, partners, and community leaders out there. We couldn't do it without you. And we just think you're amazing advocates for Qlik journeys across the world. This time, I want you to stand up. The luminaries, ambassadors, and MVPs, stand up and be recognized. Where are you at? Yes. Thank you. You're now all welcome to come up and give a personal speech, 4 minutes long. I'm kidding. Thank you for your support and your trusted feedback. Now I want to give you some show information. This is some important stuff. First things first, this is an easy one. You might have noticed that everybody has a different lanyard or badge color. For example, customers have purple lanyards, partners are wine colored, maybe apropos, and Qlik team members are green. So just keep an eye out. Everybody have a different badge color. Also the app, this is critical. Many of you have downloaded it in advance of coming here, but the app, there is so much going on at QlikWorld and finding your way around Mandalay Bay. It's like Narnia, right? Organize your personal schedule, get details on session descriptions and room locations all by way of the app. It is going to be a fantastic resource. And if you haven't done so yet, of course, download it and take advantage of all the info that it has to offer. And speaking of show information, if you have questions or need to reach Qlik, anyone on the event team, you can reach them in a number of ways. You can head to the info, the registration area. That's the info point on the show floor. Or we're making it very easy by way of an email address. QlikWorld@qlik.com is monitored at all times. Next up, we know you love some social media. We're using that hashtag QlikWorld to share your images and thoughts on social across the board. Mike and I already took advantage of this yesterday. So this is a good way to use it. Use that hashtag QlikWorld, and we'll make sure to retweet, share, and get as much on social out there as possible. All right, one of the best things about QlikWorld is hearing about how customers are leveraging Qlik for business advantage. And in Mike's keynote, you heard those amazing examples from Ford and HARMAN. Very cool stuff. And just two of many, because on the show floor, there's so much exciting things to see and to learn. One of my favorites is there is a Swedish professional hockey team that embeds sensors in their hockey uniforms to analyze athlete data with Qlik. So take advantage of checking them out at their booth. And also take advantage of getting your very own professional headshot at no cost. Customer Rico has a photo booth set up leveraging their great Pentax cameras where you can get your own professional headshot. All right, and speaking of customers, QlikWorld, as you know, is a place to celebrate how the best companies in the world are leveraging Qlik to drive business and to help make the world a better place. And this leads me to a perfect segue. To tell us more and announce the winners of the very much anticipated Transformation Awards, please welcome to the stage Qlik Chief CTO, Poornima Ramaswamy. Poornima, come on up.
Thanks, Katie, and good morning. I'm delighted to be presenting one of the most anticipated parts of QlikWorld every year, It's wonderful to see these gleaming award statues here in person after having done this ceremony remotely for the past 2 years. So this truly is the moment we've all been waiting for. Every year, Qlik's Global Transformation Awards recognize and celebrate our customers and the incredible work they do, the individuals, the teams, and the impacts. You're about to hear from 4 of our winners today and 2 more tomorrow morning about how they're using Qlik to power remarkable transformations with data. On behalf of the entire Qlik team, it is my distinct pleasure to unveil the 2023 winners of Qlik's Global Customer Transformation Awards. Our first winner is Honda, a global company with more than 25 million customers around the world, delivering outstanding products and services, including motorcycles, automobiles, power products, aircraft, and aircraft engines. We are recognizing Honda for improving operational efficiency and accelerating the creation of new value with Qlik.
Since deploying Qlik Analytics to more than 7,000 users, Honda has been able to uncover hidden insights, even among unrelated data sources that have supported the business's decision-making. Honda is using Qlik company-wide for value creation through the use of data that enables innovative support to its business. This includes carrying out root cause analysis of sales situations and analyzing the occurrence of quality problems. Operational departments appreciate the way Qlik helps reduce production costs for written materials. For example, automobile planning materials that formerly took a month to create can now be produced in a single day. Honda also uses Qlik Replicate to support Oracle migration projects.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kawaj-san, CIO at Honda.
Congratulations. Welcome, Kawai-san. We are thrilled to have you here. Many congratulations on the award to you and your global team. We'd love to hear how Honda is using real-time data to power action. Can you tell us a little more?
Indeed. The real-time insight is very critical at Honda. For example, manufacturing deals with a lot of data from sensors everywhere in the assembly line. So Qlik helps us collect and integrate data in real time and give us a capability to analyze the pattern so that we can understand what is happening and why it is happening, so that we can take actions, preventive actions, to things from happening. This will be very valuable, not only for ourselves, but also the customers all over the world who are waiting for Honda cars.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again.
Very good. Thank you.
Our second winner is Merck & Company, a global company using the power of leading-edge science to improve lives. We are pleased to recognize Merck with the 2023 Global Customer Transformation Award for their success using Qlik to get new medicines to market faster.
Merck & Co., known as MSD outside of the United States and Canada, is a global pharmaceutical company whose mission is to discover, develop, and provide innovative products and services that save and improve lives around the world. The company's global clinical trial operations team oversees the conduct of over 300 late development stage clinical trials. In 2019, it introduced Qlik Sense as a central reporting tool to provide a better oversight of its portfolio, studies, and processes. The MapView app is used by over 8,000 users across 60 countries to help maintain high-quality standards and get new medicines to the people who need them as quickly as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Randy Krause, Executive Director, Metrics, Analytics, and Performance at Merck & Company.
Welcome, Randy. We're thrilled to have you here, and congratulations to you and your team on the award. Since its inception, we've heard that in 2019, Merck has now over 8,000 users in your Qlik MapView program. Can you tell us a little more about the success?
Yeah, we're using MapView in several ways. The first way would be to track the progress of enrolling patients, underrepresented patient populations in our clinical trials. We are sharing reports with investigative sites around the world so they could track their progress and performance in their studies. And finally, we're creating insights for our study teams to use and to react to across our portfolio of studies.
Great. Thank you once again, and congratulations to you and your team. Our third winner is Syngenta Group, the world's most local agricultural technology and innovation partner. The philosophy driving their approach to innovation is that global challenges require local solutions. That's so true and required in today's world.
Syngenta Group empowers the global food chain to feed the world and care for our planet. With a mission to become the world's most data-literate agricultural company, Syngenta has put data and analytics supported with Qlik at the heart of its digital transformation to support double-digit growth for the third year running. Data for Food empowers employees to make faster and better data-driven decisions to optimize every aspect of their work. Qlik Sense usage has increased 70% in each of the last 2 years, with over 11,000 employees using Qlik, and is set to be boosted further with the introduction of Qlik Cloud. Moving from hindsight to insights and foresights is driving top-line revenue opportunities and saving bottom-line costs for Syngenta.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Art LeBay, Global Head of Data and Analytics, and Rekha Kulkarni, Global Head of BI and Visualization at Syngenta Group.
Welcome, Art and Rekha. We are honored to have you here, and congratulations on the award. We just heard that Qlik is at the heart of Syngenta's digital transformation success. And you've been doing this while delivering double-digit growth for multiple years now. Do tell us a little more.
Let me call out for now just two main drivers behind the success of our digital transformation. First and foremost, the usual one. It's all about teamwork. Teamwork coupled with, working with trusted partners like Qlik. The second one I would like to call out, which is close to my heart. In order to transform the business, we, in our DNA organizations, need to transform first. And that's not just a transformation by embracing all the new technology, it's also a transformation by transforming and opening up yourself. So within our DNA organization, we have a bit of a mantra that goes along the lines like, in order to step up in data and analytics, you first have to team up. And in order to team up, you have to open up first yourself.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Congratulations, Rekha and Art.
Thanks.
Our fourth winner is CaixaBank. CaixaBank is a Spanish multinational financial services company and the third largest lender in Spain by market value.
CaixaBank is the leading financial group in Spain. It boasts the largest branch and ATM network in Spain and Portugal and is also a leader in digital banking. In 2016, CaixaBank started its journey to become a data-driven company, and it set up a strategic alliance with Qlik. Now, more than 4,000 business users in the bank's headquarters use Qlik to perform their own analysis. In 2020, CaixaBank decided to bring real-time data analytics to more than 25,000 branch employees when the Miss Ventas project was born. Miss Ventas allows employees to analyze sales and objectives on any device and is transforming how the bank is making decisions.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Montserrat Aranda Mai, Sales Analytics IT Manager, Juan de Aguila Cañadas, Head of Retail Banking Sales Reporting, and Antonio Jerez Soriano, Retail Banking Sales Reporting Manager from CaixaBank.
welcome Juan, Montse, and Antonio, and congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
You've been working with Qlik for more than a decade now. And we heard that in 2020, you embarked on your digital transformation of the commercial systems. And as a part of this transformation, you decided to use Qlik Sense as the chosen technology for tracking commercial activity in your branch channel with the application Miss Bentas. Can you tell us a little more about your journey?
Yes. Well, our biggest challenge was to provide real-time data for a large number of users. We are talking about more than 25,000 users in 4,000 branches. And Qlik Sense was the perfect tool to achieve this goal. And we also think that Qlik Sense is a very intuitive tool, and it doesn't need any specific training for the users. So this is very important for us because we think that it has not only facilitated, but also it has accelerated the transformation journey. Thank you.
That's amazing. It's accelerated the transformation journey. Thank you, Juan, Antonio, and Monza. Congratulations on the award.
Thank you very much.
Let's congratulate all of our 4 winners once again. We celebrate all our customers, partners, and technologists who push the limits of what is possible with Qlik. Congratulations to all, and tomorrow we'll celebrate 2 of our nonprofit organizations who are doing amazing work with Qlik. Thank you.
And congratulations to all the winners on the Transformation Awards. And stay tuned because more winners coming tomorrow morning. And if you haven't noticed, we like celebrating customers here at QlikWorld. For example, if you're walking in, you may have noticed in the theater, we have awesome information about the organizations and companies that leverage Qlik for advantage, and we are proud to highlight them. Make sure to take advantage of checking out that information as soon as you walk in again to the theater. Also, we want to celebrate women in data, women at all levels who work with Qlik in all kinds of companies, large and small, and in a variety of roles in the business and in IT. We want to celebrate you, and we'd like you to stand up and be recognized. Where are our girls in IT? Don't be shy. Come on, get up. Awesome. Awesome. We're also celebrating and want to recognize the many companies that have sponsored QlikWorld. These great companies are part of an extensive Qlik partner ecosystem that help make QlikWorld here in Las Vegas possible. And as you can see on that slide right behind me, their sponsorship is at many levels. So thank you for allowing us to be here right now in Vegas. And we thought, what the heck? You know, speaking of sponsors at QlikWorld, I think now is a good time to hear from some of them and get their perspective on the business of data and their work with Qlik. So now, coming up to stage, let me bring them up. Please welcome from AWS, Head of Data and Analytics ISV Partnerships, David Littlewood. And also, please welcome from Accenture, Senior Managing Director, Global Data and AI Lead, Lan Guan. And last but certainly not least from Qlik, Molly Burns, Vice President of Partners, North America. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the hot seat.
Hello.
Does it feel good to be here back in person?
Yeah.
Molly, I know you're pumped for this segment.
Yes, yes, it feels great to be here in person with our family and our partners and customers at QlikWorld.
Excellent. Well, we're going to get your way in. You know, this morning, let's start with you, Lon, because we heard from Mike talking about the shifting business landscape and the need for organizations to use data and to deliver value. So the million-dollar question is, What makes customers successful, and how are they able to overcome the challenges associated with this transformation? Kick it off for us, Lon.
Sure, Katie. Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the chance to answer this million-dollar question. So I was so amazed to hear all the success stories that Mike and team was sharing. I think I'm picking up two themes just hearing all those stories. Something that I want to share with the team here, right? I think first of all the stories I was hearing, I think the leaders, the business domain users, right? Everybody is having this data-first kind of mindset. To me, it's a cultural thing, right? Let's not talk about technology, even though this is a technology conference. I think to me, the number one thing that I'm picking up from those stories is every single business leader in those companies, they are armed with this kind of data-first mindset, meaning every single decision, let it be marketing, customer support, sales, or supply chain, or product development, product design, right? Every single decision within the company is rooted in data. And I think that's, to me, those are the great stories actually demonstrate this unique value of the data, unique role that data, will be playing in this kind of uncertain times, right? Because data won't lie, right? Data is giving, business leaders the grounding, the information for them to make decisions. And I think also as part of that, I always call out, it doesn't mean that data is perfect. It doesn't mean that you will be able to get perfect answer. That shouldn't be the expectation, right? It's actually about, leveraging all this data around you, understand the different variables, right? Putting your objective functions, understand the trade-offs, understand the pros and cons of different scenarios, which is exactly what we're facing in a business setting every day. I think that's the data first, right? Second one, I think super quickly, very important is actually having this kind of almost like data literacy, right? And, I'm not using the cliche of democratizing data, but I'm a true believer of data democratization. In fact, I think because of a recent ChatGPT phenomenon, now we're all, I'm talking to business leaders about how do you democratize AI to regular business users, right? So I think that's the second thing I'm picking up from all these stories. So data first culture, and then second thing, and make sure that you have the right tooling, use the robust platform like Qlik, right, to democratize data, to democratize AI.
That's super insightful. Thank you. Very good stuff. David, over to you. We're hearing more success from lines of business in vertical industries on their usage of data. How do you feel that AWS and Qlik can continue to approach industries just in order to allow customers across verticals to essentially just be more innovative?
Sure, yeah. And also, thank you for inviting us. It's great to be here.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a maturity in the type of use cases that customers are using data in the cloud for. And I think that's probably because customer expectations are changing. Like they expect their partners now to come and help them deliver value much more quickly. And one way we can do that, I think, is having partners work together to come up with solutions that are kind of pre-built out of the box, ready to go. So they expect their partners to work together to come up with these solutions rather than take a bunch of building blocks and construct it themselves. And we have a great example of how we've done that. So Qlik and AWS and Snowflake, in this case, have got a solution where we pre-integrate data from SAP, land in Snowflake, use Qlik Cloud and AWS SageMaker to give predictive outcomes. So we've got that kind of predefined multi-partner solution already built. It's a great example. And a shameless plug is we have a session on this tomorrow at 12 o'clock in Theater 6. So I hope to see you all there.
Get it in, David. Stage is yours.
So Theater 6, 12 o'clock tomorrow, so don't forget that. But I think we should do more of those kind of things so that the customer can actually focus on innovation and we can help get that value delivered more quickly.
Wonderful. Again, Theater 6, 12 o'clock.
Theater 6, 12 o'clock. I'll see you all there. I'm sure it's big enough to fit everybody, but we'll see.
Molly, over to you. Where have you seen both partners lead a transformation for organization?
Yeah, great question. So the Shell Oil win was an example where Accenture and AWS were both there. And it's an excellent example of really driving innovation through a connected ecosystem, where we've got multiple voices, multiple ears listening into the voice of the customer to create the right outcomes and the right solutions.
Excellent. And Lon, over to you. Speaking of Shell, the win at Shell was across many different business lines and many complex data sources, including SAP. What are some of the best practices in your mind to work really cross-functionally to establish trust in the data and also build a data framework as we head to the future?
Okay, that's a loaded question, but I'm going to address your question using a very simple framework. Just like Dave did the plug, gave his plug, right, about Theory 6, I will actually give my plug, right? So everybody check out this point of view that we published about a month ago by Accenture. It's actually cloud value of data, a new dawn of data, right? So I think that's a perfect, kind of thought capital piece to address your question. But today I'm going to give you a short, very simple answer, okay? The framework that I think, made a huge success in the Shell story is this IPO framework. What does that stand for? So I is the integrate, okay? First of all, right, data is everywhere, just like what we are hearing from this story, but it's not just SAP, right? In Shell's case, it's a classic example where, client actually has a ton of IT data, right? Information technology data. But also what's very unique to them is they also have an immense amount of OT data, operational technology data. That's data, from machinery, data from robotics, data from IoT sensors, right? So again, ability to use a robust data platform to integrate all this data together in some kind of data lake, in some kind of lake house, in modern data architecture has to be the number one, point of this framework. So that's the I. Second one is a P. P is, okay, once you actually integrate the data, start using them, start productizing them, right? So in this case, again, using data mesh, data fabric kind of a technology to actually create data products for different, business users within your company, right? Treat data as a consumer product. What does that mean? That means you need to have a, product owner for the consumer product. You need to have a product owner for your data product. You need to actually follow data throughout this life cycle, right? You will put the value around your data. So again, we're very, very adamant about, coaching client, advising client about how to implement data products. So that's the P. The third one is how do you operationalize all this data? In this case, it's actually very simple, right? Democratize data using no-code, low-code kind of platform, right? To enable business users, get access to this data, using analytics. But not just that, also, build data governance, right? Data fidelities around all this data so that you can actually share your data with external constituents, with your partners, right? With confidence without revealing PII data. So this is a very quick way of summarizing, I think, what the essence of what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing from the Shell story, the IPO framework.
IPO, I learned something new. We all learned something new. Over to you, David. I noted that Qlik is among the select SIVs for the AWS partner system. And how do you see Qlik customers and partners just taking advantage of Amazon's continued focus on customers looking to leverage their data more and more?
Sure. Well, firstly, yes, Qlik is a very strategic partner for AWS. Just confirming that. I think AWS has always had a focus on data. It's one of the first things we ever did in getting value out of customer data. The current focus we have is what we call AWS for Data. AWS for Data is helping customers on their modern data strategy. And AWS for Data is not just about AWS native services. It's about AWS services and partner solutions, giving customers the broadest set of options to serve the broadest set of use cases. And so I think it's really important that partners understand that's something they can leverage. So AWS for Data has always been a focus for us. In addition, we have Data Exchange, which is part of AWS Marketplace. And if customers want to get access to data very quickly, they can leverage it through the marketplace. If they want to monetize their own data, they can monetize it through providing it to others through that marketplace. So in addition to AWS for Data, which we think all partners can take advantage of, customers can actually monetize their data through AWS Data Exchange and sell it as a product. It's a couple of areas that we think AWS and our partners can help.
Excellent. And Molly, over to you. Speaking of partners, what role do you think partners play in helping customers with some of these initiatives?
Yeah, partners play a critical role. Together, we have a better enterprise lens on what's happening in the overall customer environment. So when you think about multiple inputs that we're able to get as Qlik with partners like AWS and Accenture in this example, it just gives us a different lens into the overall initiatives for the company. And then we look to our partners for specific technical skills around Qlik and outside of Qlik to serve the overall outcomes, as well as industry expertise and different lines of business expertise that they bring to bear throughout the process.
Wonderful. Lon, David, I'll come over to you for this question because where do you see the opportunity for customers to really leverage analytics when it comes to being a differentiator when developing new services and also new business opportunities? Lon, I'll start with you.
I think that goes back to the last point that I was mentioning earlier, right? And data, I think a lot of times, at least the clients I was talking to, I think very naturally they think about, oh, how do you use data to optimize my existing products and services, right? But I think the immense value of the data is really going beyond that, right? It's how do you actually use that as the key ingredients, right? To actually, I think I love your example earlier about data exchange, right? So how do you, take data out of your, corporate, boundary, right? Basically, using all kinds of technology and leverage platform partners, right? To actually, do data sharing, to do, data exchange, but without sacrificing, right? Data security. I have one quick example here. So we actually work with two clients, right? And one of them is actually media client they are doing streaming services, right? Huge brand, right? In consumer world. The other client is actually apparel brand. You will be like, okay, what do they have in common, right? So we actually work with our technology partners, right? By bringing their data together into data warehouse in the cloud and leverage this kind of secure data technology, and instantaneously we're finding 6 million common customers, again, without revealing PII data. Now you can imagine, right, both brands will be able to leverage this kind of insights, right, to do better, personalization, to improve better, streaming experiences, right, to provide better products to them. So I love that example, because I think this is a great way of bringing to life what your question is. How do you create new services, right? To me, this is the what I call the exponential value of the data, right? Beyond what you are doing internally to your core business processes. So I encourage everyone to actually think from that angle. But again, obviously you need very robust platforms. You need very robust technology in order to do that safely and responsibly.
Great example. David, to you?
Yeah, I think analytics is becoming like mandatory. It's a requirement now. It's not something you add later. So I think out of the box, you want to have analytics built into the solutions that you build. The example I just used earlier has analytics built in. So, I think that has to be applied to more and more use cases, not just the traditional ones like maybe Customer 360, but supply chain and R&D and use cases that are broader than just the typical ones that you expect to see analytics apply to. So I think analytics is out of the box going to be an expectation. And that's something that I think Qlik and AWS together have a huge advantage, where we can provide that comprehensive approach. I'll just add that I think analytics and AI ML, if you're not doing it on good quality data, doesn't really work. And so I just emphasize what Lance said about a data culture. I mean, the most mature customers and sophisticated customers we see have this data culture. It's across all lines of business. They have chief data officers that report to the CEO. The CEO, they've got broad responsibility to drive that data culture. If you don't have good data, you don't have great analytics.
Good stuff. Last question for each of you. I think everybody's very excited to hear a lot more about Talend. What is your perspective on the potential of Qlik and Talend coming together? David, we'll kick it off with you again.
You guys are coming together?
This just in.
Just news. I think going back to the point about how partners work together to deliver better value to the customer, this is a great example of that actually happening. You're taking it a stage further, you're merging the companies. Yeah. So I think it's an opportunity to deliver increasing value, greater value for the customer faster. So I think it's a great thing. AWS is fortunate to have great relationships with both Qlik and Talend. We have awesome Better Together stories with those companies. So when you come together, it'll be even better. We just can't wait for it to happen.
Family grows.
When is that going to happen, by the way?
Oh, is it? could have to talk to Mike about that.
Okay, sure.
Lon, any thoughts?
Sure. I'm equally excited about this, just like what Dave was talking about, right? Accenture, of course, have been working with both companies, both technologies for probably more than a decade, right? So we're very excited to see, these two technologies come together. So that's point number one. I think point number two, when I heard about this news, a phrase immediately came to my mind. What is that? Data-centric AI. Okay, so again, to me, this is the beautiful picture that I'm forming when I hear about the two companies together, right, coming together. Because now, and let me give you a little bit more my personal story. I grew up as a, basically data scientist, right? I've been doing data science, building models for more than 2 decades now. In the past, right, it's always, oh, I'm counting on someone, right, to actually, get the data together for me, using tools like Talent, to do data integration, create, different kinds of data sets for statistical modeler, for machine learning, right, experts to actually build models. I don't think it's the case anymore, right, in the modern age in 2023. So I think, from my perspective, I think, this is the kind of mindset that, millions of, AI machine learning experts out there will share, right? Similar perspective is now we got to play with data, right, with Talent, in the same environment. To me, this is the opening up, huge gold mine, right, for us to uncover new insights, unearth new insights, uncover new patterns. So even on the personal front, I still code today. I'm very excited to see these two companies come together.
Wonderful. Molly, to you?
Yeah, the partner community, the Qlik community, and the sellers, everyone's really, really excited about the intended acquisition of Talent. I think we've had overwhelming positive feedback around what that means. And we also have to think about that really gives us more power to change customer environments and give them more breadth within the solution and more offerings for the partners as well. So a lot of excitement.
Stay with us, Molly, but wrap it up for the amazing job done by each of you. What are you hearing from partners that you work with every day about the world around Qlik?
I feel like this is the best time in the evolution of Qlik's partner ecosystem and partner community. Over the last 14 or 16 months, we've really heard overwhelming response from our partners around the direction of Qlik as a business, around our sales organization, around the different connected areas within the partner programs that are really making an impact for them and their customers. We've done some innovative things to really speak to the partners, and we listen. So you may have also heard one of the keynotes that 80% of our innovation is driven from partners and customers. So those are really meaningful things, and I think that creates the right kind of energy around Qlik and the right kind of energy for the news that we have coming out this year.
Molly, Lon, David, let's give them a big warm round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Great job. Thank you so much for that discussion.
Thanks, Katie.
Well, my goodness, you guys, you've been an amazing audience. We are wrapping up the morning, but we are just getting started. Stay with me because I have some very important information to just run through. Because up next, here is the plan. There are over 100 breakout sessions. And I have learned that over 2/3 of these sessions are being given by our feature customers or partners. And that's pretty awesome, as I think we can all agree. And the good news is everything takes place in one location. So to help you navigate all this action, stay with me because I'm going to throw a map up on the screen and I'm going to show floor and give you this guided tour. Now the show floor is just down the hall, as you know. Exit the theater. Keep heading that way. As you enter, you're going to find the Qlik booths, product expert bars, and our also info point where you can get answers to any question you have. Now surrounding the key floor and shown here are the breakout theaters. This is where all the sessions are going to be held. Some of the sessions are in spot theaters. You can see them on the show floor map. And also all around the show floor are the exhibit booths of partners and sponsors. We encourage you to visit all of them. There's so many cool experiences to check out. As I mentioned, different customer showcases like HARMAN and also the Malmo Redhawks that are using those really cool sensors and athlete jerseys. And also take advantage of getting that headshot at Rico's booth in their customer showcase. And if you might have noticed, you got a token when you registered, when you checked in to QlikWorld. That token you can actually cash in for a really cool t-shirt on the show floor. That location is highlighted on the map. There's like Darth Vader t-shirts, there's Octopi t-shirts, really cool stuff. Take advantage of it. Everybody loves a free t-shirt. Also, great places to get food and beverages. Those are indicated as well. And tons of seating areas so you can hang out with your friends. Back here, you can also see a TV studio set up for theCUBE. We're good friends of theCUBE, and we're excited that hosts Dave and Lisa Martin will be interviewing newsmakers here at QlikWorld this afternoon. So make sure to crash a few of those segments and say hello. You can find the coverage at thecube.net for anyone, of course, tuning in virtually as well. Breakout sessions, they're going to be from 11 to 5 p.m. And also, my shameless plug, there's a very special breakout session from 5 to 5:45 this afternoon. I had the opportunity to sit down with Qlik CTO Mike Potter in a session where you can ask him any question you have on any topic. We've been taking questions for days, but also we're going to have mics set up. So again, come ask questions, hang out with us. That is going to be in theater number 5. And this session will also be simulcast to all of our theaters. And before you go, last but certainly not least, let's talk about this evening. Show floor, it's going to close at 6 o'clock, and then you are on your own to get crazy in Las Vegas. Don't get too crazy. Be safe. Some of you have arranged for special events and for dinners, but most of us on your own in Vegas to check out the excitement, but save some excitement because tomorrow we have an incredible party planned. QlikWorld party is going to be incredible. I've seen some things behind the scenes what we got in store, and it's awesome. So again, be safe. And also, please show up tomorrow morning. We have Chief Product Officer James Fisher starting promptly 8:30 a.m. Breakfast, 7 o'clock across the hall, same place as today. And with all that, whew, thank you for being an amazing audience. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early, and have an awesome QlikWorld. Thank you.